People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People of Seven on Blue Sky, YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps look at purplebutterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And yeah, the week in review. Okay, I got a few soap orders. I used that money to buy an alternator. That was 164. And then all the shops around said, "Oh, we don't install customer supplied parts." And what they told me they would charge me to install alternator that they put in was ridiculous. So I held on to the alternator. I'm looking for a mechanic. I got scammed when I thought I found a mechanic, as you know. And then my daughter had to go out of town to do her event. And while she was at the event, she called home and said, "Oh, yeah, I remember there's a guy named James. He knows a mechanic that does cars." Right, okay. I'll find somebody. I wasn't going to trust a mobile mechanic, so I thought. And when she got back to Cincinnati from doing her event, she's running me around. We're doing errands and everything. And then she said, "I had found somebody that could do it for $120. And I went, "Yeah, okay, whatever." But, do you have the money? Well, soap sales were going pretty good, so I did the math and okay, there's a payout due in 3 days, so yeah, I got the money. The payout is now due in 2 days, but I figure it's the first. I already got my SSI check, so the money will come, when the payout happens from Shopify. But in the meantime, I got enough to get going. So I told her, "Go ahead, send the person over." And in my brain, I'm thinking, and if someone actually shows up to do the repair, then I'll go ahead and, you know, pay the 120. And someone did. Alternators are supposed to take an hour. He even told me 45 minutes to an hour. Which it did. But for 2.5 more hours, they were trying to get the belt back onto the car, and apparently my serpentine belt doesn't want to follow the rules, and it has these 6 grooves that they have to go in a configuration that looks basically like a puzzle. It's like, who designed this stuff? Even my neighbors came over trying to help. One's holding part of this belt this way, another one's holding a part of it that way. He's trying to squeeze it into these grooves and all that. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was starting to get dark. He even called his brother over to try to get this thing in. Apparently, there's a special tool for a serpentine belt, which he had, but it just wasn't working. It was crazy. So, yeah, he finally got it on. He said, "Go for a ride to make sure that the car is moving and everything." So, apparently, according to everybody else, I shouldn't have did that. I should have waited till the next day to go for a drive. But I was so excited about the car being ready that I drove to my daughter's house, got a hug from the baby, got a hug from her, and then, hung out for a minute, then drove home. And on the way home, literally 115 feet from my son's house, and he was at work, everything shut down. The lights went out. The car just literally died on Corain Avenue. And someone almost hit me. Their lights, he seen my lights go off and he realized I wasn't moving, so he slammed his brakes. Then he put on his hazard lights and he called the police and said, "I got the police on the way. Are you okay?" Well, he didn't hit me, so of course I'm okay. He said, "I suggest you get out the car because, yeah, I almost hit you. Your lights went completely dead. The car's not moving. Well, actually, you are moving. Put your emergency brake on." So I put my emergency brake on, put the car in park, because basically when it shut down, I didn't realize the car was still moving. Not very fast. It was just, but my window was down and he literally ran out to see about me. His name was Vincent. And it turns out he's a licensed, certified, advanced mechanic. God always sends me an angel. What are the odds? So I get out the car. I'm waiting literally in my rollator on the side of the road. The cops show up, and apparently they're not allowed to give you a jump or jump the car with their cars because of the computer and all that could blow a fuse and so forth and so on. So this guy, he had jumper cables, but he didn't have them in the car with him at the time. So he told the policeman, "I'll go to my house and grab my cables and come back." Okay, fine. And yeah, he come back, and then we couldn't get the hood open. Apparently there's a cable. It's funny now, but at the time I'm stranded at the side of the road at 11:45 at night. It wasn't so funny then. But there's a cable that when you pull the little lever to open your car or the hood of the car, it's a cable that, all I knew is there was a little button. I didn't know there was a whole cable that went all the way around. Couldn't get the hood up. So, with him being a mechanic, he knew how to go under and remove a bolt to release the hood. So, got the hood up, went to charge it. It wouldn't hold the charge. So, at this point, it's confirmed that the battery's dead. He was thinking, well, it could be a bad alternator. I said, it's a brand new alternator. It's not refurbished. It's not, redone. It's not used. It's a brand new alternator. He goes, "They sell bad new stuff all the time. I'm going to test it, but first we got to get you charged and, on your way." Okay. In the meantime, he couldn't get the hood up. So when he finally did get the hood up, and tried to charge it, it kind of lit up, and then you go to start it, nothing. And then he tried to charge it again, and the lights were like really, really dim. And he said, "This battery is just gone." So he goes, "Okay, your power steering's not working, so can you steer the car?" I said, "I tried that when the alternator first went out. Apparently, I'm not strong enough to turn the wheel." He goes, "No problem. You go over there by the police car where it's nice and safe." And he steered the car, and the cop pushed the car. down this hill on Shepherd into a little parking area. I did not even know there was a park over there on Shepherd Avenue by Mount Airy Forest. But there's a parking lot for this little mini park. So basically, they steered down the hill, and yeah. So the car sat there overnight. My son called me the next day and said, "Mom, where's the car?" It's like, it's off the street. It's at the little park that's, off of Shepherd. And he went, "There's a park on Shepherd?" My reaction exactly. So he apparently went to charge it and nothing happened. And he said, "I'm going to have to take your battery out." I was like, "Okay, fine." He goes, "But I can't get the hood up." And I was like, "Well, there's a bolt missing because he had to, get the hood open. So if you get your fingers in there." And he goes, "No, the little thing that because he had Toby." Okay, before we get to Earl, Toby came to my house, dropped off the baby. I washed his hair and put it in two ponytails. And she took my keys so she could give them to Earl. And then Earl overslept to the point where, you know, when she came back, I said, "You could just gave me the keys." But anyway, by the time he got to my house, I gave him the keys. He went up the hill, so forth and so on, and he tried to start the car. But he goes, "I had the darndest time getting the hood open." I was like, "Yeah, the little button, I pushed that button. It's not moving." And I was like, "Yeah, there's a bolt missing." "Yeah, they left it slightly ajar." I was like, "Yeah, because they had to get the bolt out to get the hood open." "Oh, so that was done on purpose." I said, "Yeah, he's going to put it back. Don't worry about it." So he tried to charge it and drive around the little parking area, and the car died again. He said, "You're just going to need a new battery." Well, I had already figured out I was going to need a new battery. So, because when the baby's dad was here, he picked him up from, after I did his hair. He said, "Go to Walmart, give them all your information. They'll tell you what battery is available. Shouldn't cost you more than 50, $60." That magic number, 50, $60. Yeah, I don't know when the last time he bought a battery from Walmart, but that's not what they cost now. Fortunately, because, internet happens, and I couldn't drive to Walmart, I just got on my Walmart app, which I happen to have on this phone, and typed in the make, the year, the model, the sub model, all of that stuff. One battery showed up that would fit my car. It was $149. Ouch. And I told Earl, I said, "Well, there's a battery available for $149. He goes, "Forget that, we're going to Cantor." And I went, "Okay." Cantor is this little place down the way that all they do all day long is they take your old battery, they give you another battery, they make sure it's charged, they give you a 1 year warranty, $70. And that's after taxes. And they take your old battery as a trade in, so that battery will get refurbished and whatever and become somebody else's battery. So we drove back to my car. He installed the battery. I turned on the car and turned on my lights, and I noticed the right side, the brake light, the headlight, the blinker, the reverse light, and the brake light on the right side of the car wasn't working. He said, "That's probably a wire cable. We could have that reattached." But I still use my blinker and everything. Kind of find out my repeater light is still working. So the repeater is the light that shows up on your mirror. So if someone was looking and I hit my blinker, they'll see that. But the blinker itself is going click, 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 click. And on the left side, everything's working fine. So, yeah. He said, well, are you going home? Or are you going shopping? Are you going to Topi's house? What you going to do? And I said, I was thinking of going to Topi's house. And he goes, well, here, give her this. She didn't take it with her to North Carolina. And I went, okay. Apparently it was oversized and she didn't want to miss her plane, fussing about, if this going to fit or if there's an extra charge or whatever. So I took her stuff to her house, told her I was on the way. So that way, you know, if I made it, fine. If I didn't make it, she knows I'm on the way and she could come get me if the car, decide to die again. No problem. Got there, gave her her stuff, and headed back home. Made it all the way home, no issues. And I'm thinking everything's fine. So, yeah. In the meantime, it's like, oh, the lights aren't lighting up. I noticed the bright seemed dim. I didn't realize it was because this entire side of the car wasn't lighting up. So I decided I'm going to just go ahead and drive only in the daytime until the lights get back right. That's still an issue, but the repeater's working, so I could use the left blinker normal and the repeater for the right blinker. But in the meantime, Vince, who took the bolt out so that way the hood could get up, he goes, I put it on the, okay, when you lift the hood, there's like this little ridge. He stuck the bolt there. He goes, I know where it is. Well, my son left the hood slightly ajar, and so that way the only thing that, the little latch that you use to lift the hood was the only thing holding the door, the hood, I keep calling it a door. The only thing that's holding the hood closed. And yeah, so today Mr. Vincent came and put that bolt back and tried to get the cable tightened, and that wasn't working. Apparently it's just snapped. So he goes, we need zip ties. I don't have zip ties. I don't know where to get zip ties. So, he goes, do you happen to? No, I have yarn. I knit, So I brought out my cotton twine, some acrylic yarn. He had some duct tape. He tried to, get the cable tight. And just when he got some resistance so you could open the hood, it kept snapping. So he goes, tell you what, because I don't want nobody to steal your battery, I'm just going to go ahead and close it. And later, when you get the cables, a $20 repair, I'll just go ahead and we'll take the bolt off to get the hood up and then fix the cable. So that way we don't have to go through all this every time you need to open the hood. I'm like, yeah, we'll do that. So that's where we are now. I have a new battery, a new alternator, the right side that doesn't necessarily want to cooperate, a cable that controls the hood that doesn't want to cooperate, but nobody could take anything out the car because he can't get it open. Trying to find the bright side. In the meantime, that was yesterday. Today is Saturday, He tried to fix the cable today. Tomorrow I'm going to church. Yay. I ain't been to church in the 3 weeks that all this has been going on because couldn't get there. So I just want to say to all the people that bought soap and helped me out, thank you. Thank you very much. Because even though it's not quite 100, I'm moving. The alternator's fixed. The battery is in there. The cable is going to need to be reattached or reinstated or strengthened or however that works. And got to do something about the lights. But the car's moving. It's acting like it's brand new. But it even got some kick to it now. It's like I kept finding myself slowing down. Usually I have to pump a couple of times to get it to go. So, yeah. And then I noticed, oh, the battery light went out. The check engine light went out. The check engine light was on when I bought the car because of an O2 sensor. And then, of course, when I went to run some errands, the check engine light came back on, but the battery light stayed off. The car is still moving. So that's where we are now. I just thought I wanted to update you. There is a video, is in portrait mode, so annoying. But there's a video of when the first mechanic was fixing the car. And if nothing else, because Toby fussed at him that the lights were out on this and it might be something that's not connected or cable that got pulled out or whatever during the course. But he can't open the trunk now. So, yeah, I'm going to have the other mechanic, Vincent, fix that because he can get the trunk open. And, you know, either that or I'm going to take it to CarX and let them install a light. And while they install lights, they automatically check to make sure that it's not a electrical problem, because that's what they did when I had the brake issue. So, yeah, either way, these lights are going to get fixed because I am not going to risk driving at night with a right blinker that is not trying to function in the city of Cincinnati. No. Because even when, okay, he was nice enough to stop and not run me over, and he put his hazards on so that way my car could be seen while we was waiting for the cops. Then the cops pulled up behind his car. They got their, red and blue lights going, as in this is an emergency. And people still came at him and then around like they was going to run the both of us over when the police had their flashing lights on and he had his hazards on and I'm just stranded in the car. So if they're not going to move out the way for a cop in a big old SUV type vehicle, I will be toasting my little compact car. So I'm not going to risk that. It's going to be daytime only until that gets fixed. Fortunately, 90% of the places I go is in the daytime. I mean, the only time I drive at night is when I'm coming back from Topi's house, like when I pick up the baby for daycare and then drop him off in the evenings. And since it's summertime now, it gets dark later, so I will still be able to get him home and then get me home before it got dark. And when I'm going to run out for a pack of cigarettes, and I already bought enough to get me through the next 3 or 4 days, so I ain't worried about that. And I go to Kroger's after Sundays. I go to church, then I go to my P.O. box because it's a block away. Then I go to Kroger's because it's on my way home, and then I go home. So, yeah. All of that will be done before 5 o'clock, so I don't have to worry about driving in the dark. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sitting here half asleep. I had laid down to go to bed, and my brain is probably the OCD in me, or I just had all of this stuff in my brain. And it's like once I realized, hey, the car's okay, you're okay, then suddenly I felt very tired, and it occurred to me I haven't slept hardly at all in the last week. Just getting all the car and the, whatever together. I even went to the post office this morning, even though it's a Saturday, because I could. It's like, hey, I'm awake, I'm dressed, the post office is still open. Why don't I just go ahead and deliver these packages? So, yeah. But usually on a Saturday, I'm going to sleep till like noon. And then by the time I get up and get dressed, the post office is closed. But I was up early because, well, wasn't sleeping. So now that everything's settled in my brain, I'm sitting here doing all this, half asleep, and then, because all of a sudden my brain started doing the calculations. You spent this amount on the alternator, you spent that amount on the mechanic, you spent this amount on this, and I'm doing this running calculation in my brain. I spent 400 and something dollars in a week. Like, what? So then my brain went to, okay, the rent is paid, this is paid, this is paid, this still got to be paid. Oh, you had to get your registration paid. So that's going to make me a little short, but when the payout comes, that'll take care of that. But in the meantime, I was like in a slight panic mode, but not panic mode. It's like, oh, this is depressing. But then it occurred to me, don't be depressed, be thankful, because if it wasn't for everybody buying soaps, I would still be sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for something. And it would take a month or 2 or 3 to save up enough to get just the alternator, and then the mechanic, and then I would have to save even more to get the battery. But you guys made all that possible all at one time, so it's all going to work out. God always sends me an angel, and now there's a mechanic that is right there at the ready, so other repairs can be done in a timely manner. And, you know, that phone number is going to be in my phone, and I wrote it down so that way if the phone ever decides to go kaput, I still have it hard copy. So that way we don't, get people going, oh yeah, I'm local, and turns out they're who knows where, just scamming folks out of money. That's not a worry anymore. The car's not a worry anymore. I'm just grateful. So thank you. And I'm going to put the pictures in the video. I don't have a video of the actual repair. The first mechanic, apparently he was self-conscious about being on camera, so please don't record me. Okay, no problem. Only thing that's on there is basically his hands, not his face. And, you know, when I walked out to check on him a couple of times. And, yeah. But in the meantime, oh, and the baby was singing a song after I did his hair, but for some odd reason, there's no audio on the video, so he still looks cute. I'm still going to put that there. This has been People. I'm properly sleepy now. I can rest, and my brain's calm. I'm going to bed. This has been People 7 on Blue Sky and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My soaps located at purplebutterfly-soaps.myshopify.com. My blog, purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. Y'all stay blessed, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that like button. Bye now. Well, the old part's out, I see. That's kind of cool. He has his own jack. Okay, cool.